Hi there, I'm Josh Gishri, and you're listening to Amplify Arlington, a news podcast highlighting local stories and upcoming events. Let's dive into our stories, starting with the Memorial Day Remembrance. And Ed.
Hey, good day, folks. Arlington residents gathered at Robbins Memorial Town Hall on Memorial Day to honor those who gave their lives in military service. The annual ceremony brought together veterans, families, elected officials, and community members for a morning of remembrance. Following remarks at Town Hall, participants decorated memorial sites at the old burying ground and Mount Pleasant Cemetery before a procession made its way through town. Ceremonies like these remain an important tradition in Arlington. ACMi News covered the event, and a full video can also be found on our YouTube channel. And now over to Stuart for some news about Arlington's first queer market.
Arlington kicked off Pride Month with the town's first ever queer market at Town Hall, hosted by the Rainbow Commission. The celebration featured queer-owned businesses, artists, makers, and community organizations from across Greater Boston. Visitors browsed handmade goods and shopped for local artwork while connecting with neighbors in a welcoming atmosphere that reflected Arlington's commitment to inclusion. The queer market was just the beginning of this year's Pride programming, with additional events like the Pride crosswalk painting and a Pride party at the Senior Center taking place throughout June. This event is also featured on our latest episode of ACMi News. And now over to Michael with the conclusion of town meeting.
After a month of debate stretching across 8 sessions, Arlington has officially dissolved its 2026 legislative season. Members evaluated a total of 96 warrant articles covering everything from home rule legislation to second-generation anticoagulant rodenticides. Among the final items discussed were resolutions supporting Burlington's response to the proposed ICE detention facility and designating Arlington as a Fourth Amendment workplace community. While many meetings ran late into the evening, town meeting completed its work before the final deadline, bringing this year's session to a close. Residents interested in learning more can watch recordings of every meeting on ACMi's YouTube channel. And now over to Josh to talk about the Declaration at 250.
The Arlington Human Rights Commission hosted a community conversation exploring the Declaration of Independence and its lasting impact. Moderator Michael Kozak provided historical context for the document, while participants discussed how its central ideas continue to shape civic life today. Historian Howard Winkler highlighted the legacy of Prince Hull, the Black Boston abolitionist who argued that the Declaration's promise of equality applied to all people. The event encouraged attendees to reflect on the aspirations contained within one of the nation's founding documents. Now here's some upcoming events to look forward to.
Last week started the Arlington Farmers Market and has returned for another season. Every Wednesday, June through October from 2 until 6:30 p.m., the Arlington Farmers Market is now open in the Russell Commons parking lot in Arlington Center. Managed by Arlington Eats, the market features local farms, food, and specialty vendors from across Massachusetts. A variety of food assistance programs are accepted, helping make fresh and locally grown food accessible to the entire community. A full list of vendors and weekly updates can be found on the Arlington Eats website.
On Friday, June 12th, the Philharmonic Society of Arlington presents its annual Pops Concert and Strawberry Festival at Arlington Town Hall. The festivities begin outdoors from 6 to 7:30 p.m., with strawberries, ice cream, family entertainment, and live performances before the concert moves indoors at 7:30. This year's program, themed America's Musical Tapestry, celebrates Arlington 250, with music inspired by traditions from across the country. Tickets are available through the Philharmonic Society box office and will also be sold at the door. One scoop of history and a side of Sousa never hurt anybody.
On Sunday, June 14th, the Rainbow Commission continues Pride Month celebrations with its annual crosswalk painting in Arlington Heights. Community members are invited to help paint local crosswalks with bright colors in a public display of visibility and support for LGBTQIA+ residents. This has become a popular Arlington tradition and follows similar events held earlier this month in Arlington Center.
On Saturday, June 20th, Porch Fest takes over streets and front yards across town from noon to 6 p.m. More than 300 performances are expected throughout Arlington, featuring folk, rock, jazz, dance, and more. The festival will move west to east throughout the afternoon, turning porches, lawns, and driveways into temporary stages. ACMi will also host a Porch Fest lineup at 85 Park Avenue from noon to 4 p.m., featuring As Seen from Space, Queer on Sunday, Lars Wicklund, and the Morningside Messengers. We hope you check out these local events if you've got time. Now let's turn our attention to our op-ed piece. And speaking of op-ed, Ed, you brought in some posters for us. So what have you got right there?
Yeah, I guess before I get to that, I think the quote of the show so far is one scoop of history and a side of Sousa never hurt anybody. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Thanks to all of you, and thanks to ACMi. Yeah, I'm here representing two groups. One is the Commission for Arts and Culture, and the first event I want to talk about is coming up 2 weeks from tomorrow, June 20th. I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but we are redoing a garage band. It's been done every year for the past several summers, and down at 334 Mass Ave, Arlington Global Gas Station is our venue, quote unquote, meaning it was never really built or designed to host a live outdoor community event, but we make it happen. We use the commission and its folks as volunteer labor, and we hire a band. And this year we have a band from Somerville that made a lot of fame in the various Somerville Porch Fest. Hate to be from another town with a band, but they got some good reviews. We're bringing them in, and then we have locally Margaret Moody Puppets. We'll do a mid-show puppet show, and then in the course of it, we have one of our own Arlington businesses, Mystic Open Studios. They bring some kid crafts, I call it. It's more danceable, wearable things kids can make streamers and run around, dance, and enjoy the music. The big news is we think we're going to have some breakdancing lessons this year. The band tells us one of their members, as part of the show, gives a free introduction to breakdancing. So we're looking forward to that too. But like I said, it's the support of ACAC, which is also called Arts Arlington. It's all free. It's pretty much family oriented. It's designed to walk up, drive up. Well, maybe take the drive out. It's more Mass Ave, so take your stroller, your bikes, your walk, and get yourself there. 6 to 8. You don't have to stay the whole show or anything, but it's all free. And we do close with the support of the town. We get official permission and permits and so forth. So we close a little side street, so we have a lot of safe area for the crowd. And we bring in a professional sound engineer for our sound quality. And it's been great. We always have to knock on wood. Any outdoor venue, you need to worry about the weather. But the past few, we've been good weather-wise, so looking for a piece of wood here. And it is a coincidence from the stage we announced it, but it's also Father's Day weekend, so if your dad's like a little rock and roll, it's good, or if they want to bring the kids to a puppet show, it's good. It's also the day after Juneteenth, and it's summer solstice right around then, so there's a lot of good reasons to party, and we ask people to come out and have fun. Other things I'm working on are through a different commission. It's the Tourism Economic Development Committee. We've been reactivating what's known as the Visitors Center in Arlington on the bike path right at Mystic and Mass Ave, back behind the Uncle Sam large statue. In a funny way, it's a little bit of a hidden place, blocked off by Uncle Sam's tall personage there and so forth. So we came up with the idea on Sundays in conjunction with ATED, we'll do some acronyms here, and Commission for Arts and Culture, and generous support from a local business. We've put together a Sunday Tiny Shed series where we're bringing in live music. We're working with the Poet Laureate to do some poetry interspersed with music. We're looking at some various options with art. We tried to push the Go Fish creation program there, but it seems like it doesn't really work in pure outdoor settings with the vagaries of weather and so forth. But we are promoting. We have some nice fish. You might see them on the wall of the visitor center. But the whole goal is to attract people from the bike path. I was showing Josh and some of you some numbers earlier. On a good weekend day, about 3,000 to 4,000 people a day pass that area in the bike path. And we're looking to bring them into Arlington for visiting our businesses and our cultural centers, our art places, galleries, and so forth, and our restaurants. So the music event part of it is to catch their ear as they're passing the visitor center on the bike path. And so far it's been working. We started May 3rd. We did our fourth so far. And we've been able to pull people to sit. It's all free, and it's doing the task of bringing them off, and they get to visit look at some of Arlington's history too within the visitor center. We do ask if people are watching local businesses. We know there's a lot of them out there in Arlington. We do have display cases and so forth. So if you have a business and you want to promote your business somehow, whether it's some color glossy brochures if you're that high level, or something you can print up on your own home printer, but it's a good form of advertising, and people do pop in, and we do give them suggestions for things. So we would ask that folks consider that. And if you're just a local, meaning you don't need to learn much about Arlington or so forth, the music's great. It's a fun, free afternoon. It's from 12:30 to 2 p.m. each Sunday, weather permitting. And we do ask you probably need to bring your own lawn chair, because to our surprise and success so far, we've actually filled up the chairs we have on hand at the visitor center. So, but anyways, I just want to let everybody know about that.
Well, that's great. I think to go back a little to talk about these two things that are happening. Yeah, we're very excited about Porch Fest. Michael and myself went to Somerville's this year, and it was the first time that I had ever been. I don't know if that was true for you, Michael.
I'd been before. It's a unique experience every time.
Yeah, and it was so much fun, and we were out there for just a little bit. And seeing as now I am the news producer in Arlington, and this is a huge event that we want to cover, I am so pleased to be able to spend the day out and about and like going to actually see things and recording things for the news, talking to people and being able to experience all those different things. And what a fun thing to do after all of the Porch Fest festivities wrap up. It's just to like keep that party energy going, that joy that it brings.
Yeah, I agree. Two things. We do call it the after party for that purpose. It's
Right.
It's really technically separately and distinct from ACA's Porch Fest event.
Mm-hmm.
Some nomenclature here. ACAC, which is very confusing to people, is the Commission for Arts and Culture, whereas ACA is Arlington Center for the Arts. We work hand in hand, but there are different sponsorship here. And as we were talking, Josh was showing me around the studio a little bit, and I thought he showed me there's some drones down there that people know how to use. Might be a cool idea for Porch Fest in general if you get a couple drones in the air, and not so much for us in particular, but it'd be kind of fun to see the sights from above and see what the crowd looks like. I do remember Somerville, was it last year, I think, they had the good luck to have the band Guster reform for an event. Did you guys hear about that?
Yes.
I saw them.
Probably a band your generation would know.
Yeah.
And I think they said like 10,000 folks
It was
showing up.
packed.
It was like
I was there.
crushed the event, crushed the street, the neighborhood, and everything. But
I was not there for the performance, but I was there for the aftermath of everybody telling me about the difficulties with that.
There was
but that's a huge positive. I think in a good way, because I've done some community music events where we in my past where we could attract world class bands, and nothing like helping a community when you get big name bands and pull them in, especially for free. Ticket prices and things now are nuts, but Garage Band is more local, but we can't promise any surprise guests like that. But we could start a rumor, I suppose.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, it is really cool because you said Margaret Moody is going to be there
for
doing. Yeah, she's been on ACMi programming a number of times.
Oh yeah.
And I think we even don't we have like a full video breakdown of how she.
Yeah, we did.
Does the
one of
puppeteer.
our interns, she went to not only see her perform, but got to see the whole setup and behind the scenes of how Margaret got involved in this world of puppetry and how she creates the stories that she does. And so it's really, really amazing to see like that level of quality and consideration for like such a unique art form.
Yeah, that's great promo for us too. And I've not seen the show, but I've heard the same thing, that they're really great.
Yeah.
And the good part is she brings her equipment, but our sound guy and she are talking together to make the best presentation for our large audience that we expect here. But I'm looking forward to that. It'll be, if people are listening and want more detail, the event starts at 6 p.m. Usually the bands we do some intro, then the first set. So we're looking at Margaret Moody, probably 6:45, 6:50 for between the two sets. She'll do her show. So it's
very cool.
Figure 6:45, 7 if you're roaming around with your kids. That's when you want to get them out to see her.
Now, a question that I had that came up, because that sounds amazing, and I don't know any other situation that it would happen. So they're going to teach a hip hop class,
No, breakdancing.
breakdancing,
Okay.
in between sets,
No, what I understand is during.
during sets, even better. I don't know how that'll work at all. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
But yeah, we do have one logistical. We rent a stage from one of our local businesses, and for the band to have some quality equipment to stand on, you know, not that we have big overhead lights or anything like that, but I've been trying to figure out, if you all know Abe's garage there, it's not necessarily set up for hip hop. I'm usually over now for breakdancing. So it'll be a little bit scratchy, I think, on the school floor there, but little kids will probably love it.
Yeah. I think that's a really cool part of it, is that so many of the events that are happening, and just music in general being that way, that so many people can come out with family. And it seems like a lot of the town, like in speaking with the folks at the ACA and in speaking with yourself with the ACAC, it's a lot of family oriented activities. There's a lot of people that can just bring families along and get the lawn chair and set things up and let the kids run around. I think that's great.
Yeah, that's the big thing. And one of the sponsors there really likes us to focus on the child, the kids aspects of it. And so we have the music. Kids love music more than most people can imagine. But when we go, it's usually the kids are really dancing. But from the stage, we usually announce that the town of Arlington does not forbid dancing, and adults can dance too. So it's so we promote the dancing and the streamers and all fun.
Nice. Yeah, the Mystic Open Studios thing is also great. They're a fantastic organization here.
Yeah, we figured it gets their name out a little bit too, and then and they bring a creative zing or zest, you know, like these streamers and different things they can make, and the kids seem to love that too. You know, twirling things around and dancing with the music. And again, adults can do it too. It's not.
Yeah.
I had a question about the tiny shed. The tiny shed. Yeah, the tiny shed.
Yeah.
The visitor center. So I've also passed by this visitor center when I first started working at ACMi. Someone had mentioned the visitor center before and where it was, and I remember going by and not knowing that it was there at all, and not knowing what I was looking for until I was like doing a Google Maps. Well, sometimes you just want to mess around on Google Maps and you like drop yourself off somewhere and you look around, and that's how I found like that building. And I was like, oh, it's a garage, just a little garage that's back there. No, that is the visitor center. So how did they decide on that? Do you know the history of the little shed?
Well, I've perused it a bit. I don't know if I'd be the most accurate, but I had a similar experience. It sounds like I use the bike path a fair amount as a biker and a walker and so forth. And last summer I would go by the shed, and it was never open. I was like, well, what is this place? And I actually reached out to ACAC folks, and they said, oh, it's ATED is the other acronym we're kicking around here. And so out of the blue, I just wrote to some names at ATED, and people responded and said, hey, if you want to open up, let's do it. You know, and so I put together a little team of some folks where I live. Shout out to Sarah Mather and a few. George and Kitty are my core volunteer group, and we decided to not renovate, but clean it up, get it ready, and get going late last summer. And at the same time, we found that same problem that I mentioned was even though it's an incredibly visited corner, the people don't come off to see what's in the visitor center. So we did start the live music last year. And the history that you ask, from what I can gather, there was many years ago something with the Chamber of Commerce in the Dallin Museum building there, Whittemore Park building. And somehow the town agreed. I don't know if I describe it as a garage. The modern terminology might be an ADU. It's almost cute enough. It's like very unique inside. It's like nice wood and there's a little loft. You could almost live in there if you're a single person. And they decided it there. It happened to be town owned and contiguous to the railway still owns the physical bike path right away and so forth. So they found this spot. And but I do think it has great potential, and we're trying to work that potential up. It's like I mentioned earlier, some businesses promote themselves there. Others don't. We're looking at ways to get more attention there, and doing this today with you guys is part of that. I believe in consistency. In other words, so we're going to do every Sunday, 12:30 to and people will start to build into people say, oh yeah, we can take the kids there, listen to some music, and we have some hula hoops and cornhole and Connect 4 game, different things that would entertain young kids.
Right.
But we do get people we keep a little log. We have people from Australia showing up, especially late last year and this year with the 250 stuff. It's people are coming to Arlington, and we have to give them the spiel. Hey, we used to be Menotomy, and our famous cousins down the road, Lexington and Concord, are getting all the press. But we were where a lot of action happened here, and we have the Jason Russell House, which is walkable. And, things we also promote this year, the Tiny Shed series, are they're 250 related. The banners you see on Mass Ave, and it's called People, Plants, and Revolution. And I like it because it highlighted the non-violent side of the revolution. It was the thinking and the social life and the actual family life of people that lived around Arlington. And so we have the descriptive brochures there, and then there's QR codes and just street markings now where you can go out on Mass Ave and do an audio tour by combining what we give you at the visitor center and go into the spot on the street, and you get a whole mix of that, what was going on in Arlington when it was a farming and rural community on the route between Boston and Concord. But to answer your question, that's the history. I know about it, and we're all volunteers, and we concentrate on the weekends because that seems when it's busiest when you look at charts, and then that's when most of the volunteers are available. We'd be willing to do more hours if folks wanted to volunteer. We'll go for it. And one cool thing is promote local business. We get a lot of our music through Dan Fox at Morningside Studios.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very good friends with Dan and the crew at Morningside.
Yeah.
I always used to bike past that building, and I had no idea for the longest time. I think I saw it open once for an event.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was rented at some point, but there was so long that I was like, what is this? What is the point of this building?
Yeah. Last year we were joking. I was thinking it's small enough she would just move it somewhere else. It's
just pick it up.
Our visitor center on wheels
On the
goes
bike
around.
path.
Exactly. And because we were looking at in front of the Whittemore House. But somehow that spot got picked for those reasons I mentioned. It's right away, and there's certain reasons it could fit there. But we'll work on it, and sometimes I think, can we move the Uncle Sam Monument, which might be a sacrilege or something, but because it does really block us. It's so we try to put out signs and colors and now noise, music, to get people, hey, what's going on back there, and pull them in.
Any other events going on in Arlington?
I get some kind of cool information I joined the ATED meetings, and we get little postings on what's happening on the street as far as Mass Ave and the business world.
Yeah.
And, there's, a few vacant buildings, and we're hearing an interesting bakery's coming in. They'll be coming into a spot, which in my opinion would be perfect. I always think the more restaurants, more bakery, they actually bring more to the scene than hurt each other. And if you go up and down, especially in the center, you got so many restaurants, so many noodle joints, but they all kind of play off each other and work with. And so that'll be pretty exciting. And I think it's the patisserie, kind of a French theme.
I was going to ask if it was going to be a French bakery. I would really hope it's a French bakery.
The only kind there is, but no, I can.
We've upset a number of listeners.
Oh, no.
Well, we're all looking forward to what is upcoming with all the live music, free live music. So if you have the chance, you have a weekend open, there's no excuse. Get out there and listen to some music.
Yeah, it's the busy season, and thanks to you guys at ACMi for doing this, and we'll do some more.
Definitely.
Thanks for listening to Amplify Arlington. If you missed anything or you want to listen again, find us on ACMi's YouTube page or wherever you get your podcasts. ACMi, focused on you.
And then later, I'm going to go to a Portuguese bakery, which is
No.
the other. No, it's so
There's
good.
There's no other bakery.
Portuguese bakeries are amazing.
It's all French.